What tools do you do day to day, or do you use day to day, Fernando, to like stay organized? Or I know you mentioned Zoom. You're using Zoom for like meetings and like training and stuff like that. Like, what do you consider like maybe just like the top three like essential tools that you use to run your business?
Okay. Let's do Amazon and non-Amazon. So okay, so non-Amazon, like that I think everybody should use is Slack. I think Slack is amazing just for communication and keeping things organized. We have like all of our channels set up. It's free, I think, up to like a certain thing, which is great. But yes, we have channels broken out for like all of our different teams, like the inventory planning team and the marketing team and all that kind of stuff. I really like Slack. There's a lot of like, task management solutions. Like we use GetFlow personally, which I like. But a lot of people use Asana or Trello or ClickUp. I think those are all great. And then what else? Oh yeah, I really like Cloud App or Loom. And those are kind of like screen sharing, like recording, like snapshot software. So I would really like those for kind of the non-Amazon stuff. And then Amazon wise, I really like Seller Legend. And let's see. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like other cool like software. I don't know. Do you want me to go into like software? Or is that like
Yeah,
too much to go
whatever.
into?
I mean, yeah, sure. You can whatever you think is working for your business for sure.
Yeah. So what else do we use? We use oh man, we use so much software. I'm trying to think like which ones I really want to like highlight. I like Hubstaff a lot. I think that's really helpful for us, like managing our overseas team. I think for time tracking and stuff like that.
Yep.
We've been using let's see, Zon Pages is great for like email follow up and stuff like that as well. I think those are like some of like my favorites right now.
Cool. Yeah, Hubstaff is like a godsend when I found that. Like you said, we were hiring a bunch of people on online jobs
Totally.
and we like you said, we start on Upwork, and you can find some decent people on Upwork, but it's really hard to sift through them. And what
Yeah.
Amy and I've were talking about this the other day is something that we figured out a little later than we should have, is that you should always have some kind of filter in place when you're hiring, like a trial task or something that makes that person like complete a smaller project before you hire them on. That's a really good way to kind of vet somebody who's going to work for you. So for example, Fernando, you're talking about PPC. It's hard to find a good PPC person, especially overseas. But one way that you could easily do that is to when you hire somebody as a trial, you break them off to one campaign. You say you're in charge of this one campaign for a week and see what they do with it.
Mm-hmm.
And generally when you're hiring people from online jobs, you're in the sub $10 range almost always per hour. So that's not going to cost you a lot of money. And by giving them this trial task to complete, that's going to vet so many people, because if after a week they're not, they haven't performed, you boot them, and you already have a list of backup candidates that you go and you just keep doing that. You got to just rinse and repeat. I think I went through like 10 people before I got to an executive assistant that was like, worth a crap. So
Right.
you really have to come up with ways to get to those good people.
Yeah, totally.
So do you have any like, I mean, as a seller, I know that, I've got a few like cards that I don't share in my back pocket, but like anything that you guys are using that you think are, working fairly well, that are kind of already out in the wild, that, that you're willing to share with all of us, that, that's working on like getting your products like ranked or promotion or marketing, like anything that you're using that you maybe weren't using last year, or something that's, working really well for you right now.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So one that we actually like introduced, which I really like, is called Pixelfy Me. And so I think this might be for like truthfully for some of the more advanced sellers, but basically it's kind of like link shortening, and it basically allows you to add like a pixel, your Facebook pixel, into any link. And so we've been using that a lot with like our Facebook ads, and basically helping like rank our products. I think that's really big, especially as like we talked about, like Amazon is getting more and more competitive. And so like having an advantage is getting harder and harder. So like having your own messenger list or your own like audience, whether it's a Facebook group or Facebook page, I think is increasingly more important. And so Pixelfy Me is like a really good solution that we use to do that, to basically build up our pixel to like kind of retarget, get people like basically so we can basically communicate them easier. I think ManyChat along the same vein, again, like more of an advanced tool to use, but I think it's amazing in terms of communication. I don't know if you guys use it, but like it's definitely one of my favorite tools for like launches as well.
Yeah.
And
yeah, we use it a bunch for, various, for our Amazon business and for, for our software business. So it's cool.
Like
so
the new email marketing.
yeah, exactly.
So much better. Yeah.
Right.
Even though,
right.
Yeah. And on that point too, Fernando, like you're saying, what people don't realize is if you say your end goal is to build a big Amazon business and then sell it. What a lot of people need to realize is your list is worth a ton of money. If you sell an Amazon business and you have like a list of like 100,000 email addresses, for example, that's gonna your sale price for that business is gonna go up exponentially because people know who are going to buy that they have a recurring source of income. Because every time you launch a new product, you send an email out to those 100,000 people. Guess what? That product's going to be successful. It's almost impossible, unless it's a complete piece of crap, for it not to be successful when you have that kind of volume behind it, especially at launch time. So, I mean, that's why, you've probably heard people saying, build list, build list, build list, but it's absolutely essential, especially like Fernando was saying, in this market, as it's getting more and more competitive, definitely something that you really want to kind of double down on.